So here's a problem I've started having recently. You can see this is a Iron Man bust, and I've got the time lapse up of me printing. I think it was this one. And you can kind of see what happened there. This is the top of his shoulder, and instead of that being over here, it's been shifted this way. And if you look at the supports right here, these should be straight up and down. So I wasn't sure what was causing this to happen, so I changed a couple of things. I got rid of the you can see the grid work of supports here in the center. I got rid of those and just said to do it as thick walls with no support, so the inside's hollow. But it still did the same thing and right about at the same area. So I thought, well, okay, maybe that's just something wrong with the model. So I went over and I printed this thing here, and again I've got the time lapse up of this being printed. So this is supposed to be a Terminator skull, and if I turn it sideways, you can see this right here this part that sticks out right here should not be sticking out. And if I look back here to the back, right in here is where it shifted. It shifted forward, which threw off the model. And then if you look up here at the forehead, you can see something similar happened, where it's shifted this way. If I turn it, yeah, you can see the seam kind of there on the back, and where it's crooked instead of straight. So that's been a problem that I've been having. And I thought, well, it happened on this one, and it happened on my two Iron Man models, so maybe there's something wrong with the printer. So what I immediately did was I thought, well, maybe the Micro 3D just can't handle having the giant spool up on top. Maybe the spool itself it's a 1 kilogram spool, and the spools that come with the Micro 3D, I believe, are 1/4 kilograms. I don't have the big spool out right now, but you can see that's how big a 1/4 spool is. And if you watch my other videos, you can see how big the 1 kilogram is. So what I did was I wanted to print this in black, so I took the black reel, and this small reel up here actually came with it. It had an ABS on it, which ABS I tried printing, and it just really didn't work out too well. So I took all the ABS filament off, and instead I used a screwdriver here, and that's some double-sided thick tape on there, and it was just big enough to go on the inside of the spool here. And then I shoved this end into a drill and just very slowly unwound from the big black reel onto the smaller reel. And then I tried printing the Terminator again to see if it would still give me those same problems. And here's the result. You can see that once again it shifted over in just about the same place. So I figured it can't be that. It can't be the weight of the spool. And in fact, I've printed off a couple of things where I haven't had this problem before. So the only conclusion that I can make is that I've just got two models that are messed up in some way. So I'm going to try to print some other things. Right now I'm not doing a time lapse of it because according to the software, this is going to take approximately 2 days to print. Now we'll see. I started this about midnight last night, and it is 2:21 p.m. And what this is the Predator skull that you can see right there. So it's been going about 14 hours, and we're at 22.22%. So yeah, it's going to be a while, but so far I haven't noticed any of the shifting or anything like that. There's a bunch of supports on it. I tried to lay it down to cut down on the number of supports, But the 3DM software is not super great about that. Like, it left part of it floating up in the air. I can't really adjust the height, the up and down where it is. So I really couldn't do much about that. Another thing that kind of worries me is, if you look right here, you can see that this is actually not printing on the print bed. This is overhanging it. And that worries me. That makes me think that my print head might be off. It might think it's in a different position, which could, possibly explain why this happened. Possibly, I don't know. So, of course, what I want to do is go in and calibrate the printer or check some of the settings, but unfortunately, this version of the software, there's no button to calibrate the printer or anything like that. And in fact, I can't really get any help because the forums are still locked. So again, I own this, but the only way I can get any kind of support from the company is if I email them, wait a day or two, and then they'll email me back, because their forums are still locked, just for people that were a part of the Kickstarter. So basically, I've just got to kind of come up with my own solutions, and I'm not happy about that.